Hello, friends. Welcome to Much Review About Nothing. We can do an episode on this particular movie because we haven't watched it yet,
That was terrible.
On this podcast, we review a movie we haven't seen yet through cultural osmosis and what we can find on the internet. I'm your host, Billy Greer.
And we're your co-hosts, Jake Greer and...
I'm Luke Greer, baby.
Let's don't watch a movie.
All right.
Yep.
That was the intro.
That's
Yep.
it. We're done.
We're done.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a little more low-key. I could be proven wrong by the end of it, but we're all kind of tired and worn down this time around.
Well, I kind of forgot what we do first. We do introspection, inspection.
Yes.
Our numbers are good and all that for now in terms of downloads.
It's been exactly 30 minutes since our last accident. We're doing good.
Yeah. And that's all I have. Nothing's really changed too much.
Yeah, nothing really to report for introspection inspection.
All right, well, let's get on to the trailer so we can get into dynamic discussions.
Yes, but what are we watching today,
Yeah.
Jake?
Oh.
Or not watching today? Dang it, I did it again. Ugh.
We aren't watching anything in particular.
We aren't watching Smallfoot today.
Yes,
Oh.
Smallfoot.
Out of all of us here, I think I have the largest foot. So who
Do
here
you?
has the smallest foot? That's a good question.
I don't know.
What's your shoe size?
I'm rocking a 20.
Okay, what is your actual shoe size?
A kayak-sized foot? What the? Do you know your actual shoe size?
That's 11.
11?
It's off
Okay.
by
I may
9.
actually have the smallest foot here. Because I think mine's like 10 and a half.
Yeah, you do.
Although it usually depends on the type of shoe, I guess. But I
Generally,
think I am the Smallfoot this episode.
Okay,
Hey!
Hail me, a Smallfoot!
I am looking forward to the reboot of Land Before Time.
Oh, it's Smallfoot.
Yeah, it was Smallfoot.
They
It's a new little foot. Now you have the rebranded character Smallfoot.
well, they
right?
lose the copyright, so
Yes,
they
they
just
lost
skirted
it.
around it by doing
Maybe they're
Smallfoot.
actually stealing the idea. So
They got-
this is it'll be straight onto Netflix. It'll be Smallfoot. And he'll be
Smallfoot.
coming out.
We got Smallfoot, Bucky, Sarai, Percher, all their favorite rebranded characters.
Well, Peachy would be P-Bush.
Yeah, P-Bush.
Spike would be Blunt.
Yeah, Blunt.
I don't-
Blunt.
and
He
Duck-
has a drug problem.
and Ducky would be
Goosey.
Goosey.
Yeah, Goosey.
How did this happen? What are we doing? Okay, let's get this back on track here.
It's a preamble.
All right, let's watch the trailer for Smallfoot here, which apparently we have nothing to say about at the moment.
Well, we haven't seen it, and this is kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah.
A lot of these animated movies do.
Yeah,
are
I mean, I
Disney.
do know some things, but I'm kind of, holding back for the episode itself.
I
but,
just see trailers and I forget about them.
yeah, so let's watch the trailer. Okay, that's the end of the trailer.
It was
there.
it was a thing.
So it felt very generic. I mean, mostly because it had your nice travel song. Is that ultimately a pro or a con?
What?
It has your travel song, that inspirational song of "I'm going home" or "I'm finally free" or "I'm."
Yeah, what is it with these? Like we just did Ferdinand, and that had the same thing where it's this heartfelt song playing over various scenes from the movie, I guess.
Yeah, it's like it's always. Am I crazy? It's always been kind of an animation thing, like with Bolt and
Yeah.
things like that. They always have like a travel song or an adventure song
You know what
or
I
a
miss?
feel-good song.
I miss the voiceover guy going this summer or this.
I really
September."
don't. If you watch those old trailers, that is the cringiest thing ever.
But
sometimes
I miss them so much.
I guess
It
it had
makes,
its
me, it
charm.
makes me feel old.
But I wonder, and I guess that's true. I just never really thought about it because I haven't watched trailers this intently, except like I've been doing it for the podcast.
At least they give a nice synopsis.
Well, I think because, trailers are engineered to get you to watch the movie. And I think that kind of music is sort of ensuring or letting the audience know, hey, there's going to be heart in this movie. You're going to feel good. It's not just going to be laughs. It's not just going to be Yetis falling off of things and screaming. It's going to tug at your heartstrings and make you feel warm inside.
Also, I want to give props to the trailer for putting the song name.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, because I'm always going in there and I'm always writing, what's the song playing in the trailer? Because instead of putting in the description, they put it in the video.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. I never
saw. So do we get a pro?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna. There's also the really cynical, like, hey, you like the song, you want to buy it, but at the same time, if you do like the song, that's really handy.
You don't have to go down there and go, hey guys, what's the song? And it's like, it's like
the Rude Sandstorm.
Yeah, it's the Rude Sandstorm.
Yeah, that's an old meme. But yeah, I mean,
we're showing our
usually
age.
they put it in the description, or you can find it in the comments, but it just cuts out the middleman.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
And it's in a cool little Smallfoot font.
Yeah.
It looks like ice.
all animated stuff should do that from now on.
In the movie itself, whenever a song plays, in the corner.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, why not?
Just any movie could have that. Just in the corner, it says, this is the song, this is who it's by.
Yeah.
I'm sure the artist wouldn't mind. They're like, hey,
an audience would be like, oh, I'll look it up after the movie's done. Yeah. In the movie, I feel like there's been 40,000 kids movies made about this where there's the creature or the animal, the monster that sees a human, but for some reason his peers and family don't want anything to do with humans or don't believe they exist. So he's like cast out or whatever.
Well, to be perfectly,
and he has to find proof.
Yeah, to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't want to be around humans too.
I guess fair enough, but it seems like that's a popular plot, and I couldn't help but notice that he gets banished because he won't renounce that he once saw a human, and they basically just drop him off the mountain. So I just realized that banishment is actually execution. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense because I don't know if you've gone into the lore of Smallfoot, but I have a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
You read the appendix?
Yeah, I've read the lore. Yeah. And do we want to go ahead and get into that? Because it is interesting.
Well,
I guess we can.
We don't really have anything to add to the trailer.
No, I mean, I have articles to get into, but if you want to get into the lore.
I mean, we are in just dynamic discussions. I don't know if we said it.
Let's go ahead and get in the lore.
Yes, we are in dynamic discussions.
I'm sure the articles will back us up. But I also want to say, does he end up killing the human because when the human freezes over, he's bashing him against rocks while he's frozen? He's cooking him alive?
When you already reach that stage, cellular level, all that has already died. He's dead.
His skin's all dead.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like kids, when they get their first pet, their first hamster or fish, there's a lot of casualties at first, because they don't know how to take care of them properly. So maybe in the trailer, we were just seeing his first human.
So he might go through several humans before he finally manages to bring one back.
There were several shots of different humans. Maybe it's just like, this is the first one, and we're going to go to this one and this one. So he finally learns how to take care of his human.
I guess so, which, as we keep finding out, these kids' movies, even the most fluffiest and innocent-looking ones, always have this weird edge to them. And
remember, kids, they're not dying. We're just saying that they go to a nice, peaceful farm somewhere.
Yes.
I'm sure all the humans, all the humans who freeze to death, they're not actually dying. They just go to a better place. They go to the farm.
They go to a nice, warm sauna. And they get warmed up, and they just don't come back because it's so pleasant.
And depending on how they were in life, the sauna might be really, really hot.
Okay.
All right. Well, so from what I remember, the Yeti Society is a totalitarian state.
Yes.
With essentially a religious leader who has this slab of stone that has like all the rules on it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a religious dictator, I guess.
It's a theocracy, kind of.
Yeah, theocracy, really.
Kind of like Iran.
But the leader guy basically kind of, I don't know if he translates or if he's the only one access to it, so he kind of makes the rules.
He's the Yeti Pope.
Yeah, he's the Yeti Pope.
Or like the Yeti priests. Only, the layman can't interpret the scriptures, only the people who have been ordained can. So
so pro Yeti Pope.
Yeti Pope. We had a Sith Pope. Now we have
Yeti Pope.
Yeah, we had Sith Pope. Now we have Yeti Pope.
Man, we're getting a collection of popes.
I know. I did not expect that to happen.
And so, also, It's nice to see like the fringe, almost truthers, I guess.
The fringe truthers.
Is that a good term?
Yeah, the Yeti truther group.
Yeah, the Yeti truther group, who in this case are not truthing about the fact that Yetis exist, but the fact that humans exist.
Yes, see, that's called clever writing. And it's not the humans that believe in Yetis; it's the Yetis that believe in humans. See, that's why they pay those guys in Hollywood the big bucks, because they think of brilliant turnarounds like that.
I mean, we couldn't think of anything like that.
No, I mean, not at all. But yeah, I basically the two articles I've got here, they talk about kind of the religious aspect of the movie, and I thought it was funny.
Kids movies are getting weird.
Yeah, and this first one is called "Smallfoot Leaves a Big Impact," and the other one, which is negative, is "Smallfoot Struggles to Leave an Impression."
So is that a pro con that it divides people into whether it leaves an impression or not?
Well, I just thought it just goes back to the old thing that all these critics write the pun-related headlines that have something to do with the movie. We keep stumbling across
I want to put someone into the Hall of Fame, the MVP, who writes an article and manages to restrain themselves not to put a pun. I don't think anyone will ever fill that hall.
No, Smallfoot was good. Smallfoot
was good.
Yeah.
Smallfoot was bad.
Me hate Smallfoot.
But then I guess we complained they weren't showing any creativity. But technically, I'm not complaining. I just think it's funny that.
No, it's great. I actually like it a lot.
I wonder if they have a pun generator.
Well, I mean, the puns write themselves.
Yeah, because Smallfoot, footprint, blah blah blah.
What article do you want to start with? The bad one or the good one?
Let's start with a good one, go for the bad.
Yeah, let me look at my notes here.
Let's end on a sour note.
Good
okay, I'll kind of hop back and forth. I'll hop from the first one, the good one, to the bad one, because basically I was just getting into the whole, like you already brought up, the lore. Because, there's a bunch of rocks. And, the Stonekeeper, he's like the Pope, as we said, and he reads the rocks, and he tells people humans cannot exist emphatically. And it's actually brought up, it's weird that the rocks say humans don't exist. Why even bring it up if no one's ever seen it and it doesn't technically exist? Why write saying something about it doesn't exist? But there is a reason. At first I thought that was a weird error, but it's not. There's a story reason. So the introduction of the movie simultaneously demands comparisons between the Yeti's religion and real-world faith, which are most glaringly obvious in how the Stonekeeper's rocks parallel holy books in function, and cleverly frames the rest of the film like a mathematical proof by first presenting a ridiculous belief to later be debunked by the discovery of various pieces of evidence. And what I was realizing is reading all these articles that this movie is about freeing your mind from the shackles of religion, or at the very least some kind of authoritarian force or power that's trying to tell you something.
And kids' movies have changed.
Yeah, I know.
So does it ultimately lead to the Yeti's nihilism upon life?
Yeah.
And by freeing their minds, they actually fall into a deep depression? That's a big question.
No, because then the movie's thesis is by freeing your mind, you are happier because you're no longer constrained by some backwards belief. Which, that got me thinking, I guess this is kind of a pro-con scenario, because let's say if you are a Christian family or a religious family, whatever, and you take your kids to see this movie, they may come out with black metal makeup on their faces, ready to burn down churches, embrace nihilism and the devil. So I would say be careful when you take your kids. But on the other hand, if you already have more atheistic or agnostic leanings, this movie might be for you. Yeah. But there's also the danger that this movie teaches you to reject all forms of authority. So it may lead your kids to complete anarchy.
Well,
it could be fun.
No, it could be fun, but
maybe that's the true purpose of this movie. It's actually a bunch of anarchists who've they've gotten together and they've created a movie.
Yes.
They've got some order in their anarchy, and they've created a movie. It's a propaganda, Yeah. That way, when anarchy breaks out, they can take control of the state. Oh, wait.
Yeah. Wait, because anarchists don't take... Anarchy inherently can't have a government?
Yes, that's the joke.
Well, that's the thing. If anarchists can get together long enough to make a movie that's, coherent, has anarchy inherently failed because it's, automatically erased itself? Because making a movie requires some kind of, control.
Yeah.
Well, they managed to do it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But they've just proved their point. If they successfully made a movie, they proved why anarchy shouldn't be the way.
So, Con, this movie disproves anarchy because anarchists made this? Or?
Yeah. Well, if they did make it, which I don't know if they did,
I signed on to review a kids movie.
Yeah, like an anarchist cookbook.
Yeah, I got this.
I would definitely say, if you're a parent, be careful, because this movie is trying to teach your kids about anarchy. It may turn your kids into anarchists.
The worst ANCAPs.
ANCAPs? What is that? Oh, anarcho-capitalist?
Yeah,
Well, I guess that's who would make the movie, technically.
Yes, there you go. It was made by an anarcho-capitalist.
So is that a pro? I'm losing track of the pro-cons and stuff here.
Let's just put no.
No? Just write no?
Just no?
Okay,
no.
Well, here's no. Right. That accomplished nothing. But
like anarchist.
So cons,
I think we've gotten onto a thread, and I think we should cut it off.
Yeah, because I don't know
where we're going.
I don't know how to reconcile this.
Well, let's get back to the article.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll felicitate our intellectual minds.
Yeah, but then my question is, so we can assume, we haven't seen the movie, but we can assume, following the thread of the plot, that the Yeti brings the human back by proving that humans exist. Their kind of theocratic organization falls apart. But then what happens next? Does by bringing the human back, does Migo, the main character, destroy his village?
The thing is, it says being happy, but most different people are happy by different things. So do you have like this whole like every man's a king, and they just kind of like start to kill each other one by one
that's what I'm wondering.
As they get into disagreements that they can't reconcile anymore because there's no longer any standards. So it's just like at first everyone's happy, then they start conflicting, and then everyone has their own set now, and then it's just and now Yeti Mountain's this empty bloodbath.
Yeah. So are you saying he brings the human back and it causes anarchy within the movie itself? We're back to anarchy.
We keep going back to anarchy.
I think there's a through line of anarchy in this thing. It was created by anarchists who have anarchy in their film. But it is an interesting idea, I guess.
It shows the dire price or consequences of free thought, or the price of truth. Because he may think it is a positive thing to go find this human, but by doing so, he unwittingly unravels his entire society. So is it better to live in a comfortable lie, or to embrace the dangerous truth, So is this like kind of a continuation of Watchmen? Where like Rorschach at the very end, he's like, well, I don't want to live in a lie, so I'm going to spread the truth, even if it destroys it. It really is.
Is this Rorschach's spirit animal, or Rorschach in another
Or
form?
maybe that's what Rorschach wrote in his journal. It was this story.
It was this movie. He wrote this movie.
Yeah, he wrote down what happened, and he also wrote a screenplay for Yeti Seeking the Truth.
I love Yetis.
So written by Rorschach or Anarchist. We aren't sure at this point.
We've confused ourselves, I think.
We've gotten off the rails.
Think about it. Rorschach is like an anarcho-capitalist.
Yeah, he kind of is. Or like extreme libertarian, I don't know.
Would that be anarcho-capitalist?
Yeah.
It borders, I think.
We can't get away from anarchy. See, that's what the anarchists are trying to teach us. Everything goes back to it's entropy. Everything is destroyed eventually and becomes anarchy. Yeah. Just like this podcast is right now.
And maybe that's the whole point of the story. It's like, listen, it's all anarchy, all entropy. Just eat, drink, and be merry. For tomorrow, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
That's my headcanon anyway. I like that.
I think Khan is confused us horribly.
Yeah, Khan is confused.
We're going to blame them for confusing us.
I think the rando reviews will help clear things up when we get to that point.
And this is another paragraph from, let's see. Yeah, this is the positive review. This review is weird because it kind of vacillates between like, oh yeah, this movie is kind of anti-religious, but it's also saying, oh, well, not really. It's, more about general like questioning authority kind of
Choose one.
Yeah.
Stop being so wishy-washy.
Well, I can kind of see you don't want to commit, and you don't want to just like wield your sword against the religious people because you still want their money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you may think somebody's wrong, but if they give you money, hey, they're kind of okay.
Yeah.
All comes back down to the universal truth of money.
But I was kind of wondering if they're giving the movie too much credit because here's a part from one of the paragraphs in this positive review. To Percy, which is the human, the surviving human, Migo's excited gestures, Migo's the main character, seem like threatening posturing. The comical exaggeration of their fear and misunderstanding illustrates how ridiculous it is for different races or social groups to harbor unfounded negative assumptions about each other. This scene is a tactful addition to the film's central argument, as it clarifies the movie's purpose as an examination of the harms of blind belief in all its manifestations, rather than a critique of religion in particular.
Don't just immediately assume something, or don't judge a book by its cover.
Well, yeah, it's an anti-racism movie, but
that's stupid. I wanted to go with the full anti-religion angle and have like a French Revolution thing where they go around kill the former priesthood.
Yeah, but I was just thinking they did that because it's a joke. It's the Yetis hear the humans as all they hear is squeaking.
Yeah.
And then the Yetis just sound like blah, 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 blah. That's just a joke. And this person has mind that. Well, technically they're doing what we do, but I feel like they're giving the movie way too much credit.
Well, we talked about that where things that are incidental that the movie has given to people, can they still get credit for it?
Yeah, that's true. So this may have a message about unity between the races and the social strata and different
I think
things.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yes, I think we can all agree that this movie, even though we haven't seen it, it's already making us better people.
It is.
We're compassionate anarchists, I guess.
Compassionate.
Compassionate.
Yeah, anarcho-compassionate.
Anarcho-compassionate.
We have like a black and fake flag.
Yes, that's gonna be our political party. We are anarcho-compassionates.
Okay, well, let's get away from anarchy here.
Nope.
I agree. We should probably get away from it.
You can run all you want. It's gonna keep coming back.
So I had those articles, and I didn't want this podcast to become the fan fiction podcast, but I couldn't help myself.
Everyone loves a good fan fiction.
Yeah, I had to, because we learned so much about Ferdinand from that fan fiction I got in that episode. So I was wondering what we could learn from fan fiction about Smallfoot, and I was surprised to see there was quite a bit of it. It seems like every animated film that comes out is going to have fan fiction.
So is this between Migo and Percy?
It's funny you say that, because our first fan fiction here.
I didn't.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I didn't see any fan fiction about that, but I was like, "Is this is probably a huge foot fetish movie, isn't it?"
It must be, because it's all about the feet. It's labeled Smallfoot. They're big feet and they're small feet.
I know, and it's just them showing off their feet and then looking at his feet.
And a lot of times, like foot fetish has to do with gigantism.
Yeah,
so they're
giant. So this is,
and they're kind of furries.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, this is a DeviantArt stream.
It is. It's ticking a lot of boxes, and I just imagine this kid. He's begging his mom or dad to go see the movie. Mom, Daddy, I want to see the Smallfoot movie, and then the parents like, we can't go see that because they have a foot fetish and they don't want to be put there. I can't. So I can't.
I can't go back.
I can't tell you now. Maybe when you're older. But this would stir something in me. Okay, but
Well, I was thinking pro-con fetishes, I guess.
Foot fetish, yeah.
Giant fetish and
gigantism.
It's got everything you want.
Yeah.
And furry.
So
they're more hairy than furry.
Well, I mean, they're animalistic enough, but also kind of human.
Yeah, so the pro-con is, this could really, work well for a lot of people, but at the same time, if your kid wants you to go see it and, this is doing it for you, may not be the best situation to bring your kids into. There's going to be wondering why you're, sweating profusely in the theater. What have we done?
I don't know. We're really, we're taking out threads out of a shirt.
Yeah.
And we're slowly ripping up the shirt.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to be left of the shirt. And the shirt is common decency.
Yeah.
So let's get on to
so let's go back to
the box isn't big enough for all the degenerates.
Yeah.
Let's bring
this time we're the episode degenerates.
Let's put ourselves in there.
We're going to put ourselves Billy, Jake, and Luke.
We are in the box of shame this episode.
We're the episode degenerates inside the box of shame.
Well, let's get back to something more serious and even-minded with Percy is very gay. That's the name of this fan fiction. And I just wanted to bring that up.
Really happy
because of the... Yeah. They're just friends. They're really close friends.
They're really happy.
And this fan fiction is Percy waking up in the middle of the night to realize he is gay for Migos, and that is all we need for that.
Is that how it happens? You're just sleeping, and all of a sudden you wake up in the middle of the night. I'm gay.
Yeah, I think it must happen that way.
I'm gay for a big Yeti.
Yeah. And then there's another one I found called First Meetings, and it's where Percy introduces Migo to his dad.
Oh.
So, yeah, the relationship is apparently going, to the next level. He's meeting the dad. So I didn't know what to take from this. Is there a romance in the film between Migo and Percy? Is this Yeti love? We keep finding all these new and wonderful kinds of loves. Robot love, rabbit love, goat love.
No.
Depending on what viewer you are. Speaking of fetishes.
Well, I mean, then Percy can use the pickup line, "You're the most human thing out of all of us."
Yeah, you're the most human of us all.
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
So, he's, I'm sure he did that pickup line to Migo.
So, possibly a very groundbreaking film, I would say.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking in terms of
Gay
sexuality and...
If you think about it, Migo is like a bear.
He is a bear.
Yeah,
he would be a bear.
Yeah.
He's large and hairy. Groundbreaking film for gay rights, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which is weird because in the trailer he was dancing.
Possibly, we don't know.
He was dancing with that female Yeti. So does Percy steal Migo away from her?
Her name is Michi, and maybe she's the beard. Or maybe Migo is bisexual. He swings both ways. Yeah.
Ah.
You never know.
Yeah, he's swinging for the field and he's swinging for the fences.
Yeah. I've never heard that.
I just came up with it.
That's good. That's really good. That sounds like an actual saying.
It is now. You can use it. Whoever listens to this, not watch it, you can watch it.
Yeah.
Unless you can see sounds.
Oh yeah, I keep wanting to say Migos because that's a rap group that's real popular right now. Yeah. The raindrop, drop top, raindrop, drop top, and that's what I keep wanting to say, but it's just Migo. Yeah. So yeah, well, I feel like that may just be because every time something comes out, there's the fanboys and fangirls are shipping two characters regardless of their orientation. So this may fall into that, but you never know. As we learned from that Ferdinand fan fiction, that there was a whole slaughterhouse subplot, so you just don't know.
And they steal a truck.
Yeah, and drive a truck.
And Sky totally exists.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yes,
100%.
I believe that in my heart.
She
lives in my heart, if nothing else.
Female bull, according to Bill.
Sister.
I had bulls on the brain.
Female bull. Yeah, I forgot about that. Anyways, we're not doing Ferdinand this time.
Yeah. But, and then this one actually I felt like gave some information. There's this other one, it's the long one. I don't even think it's finished at this point, but it's called What If, and in brackets, Smallfoot. And this one is just a retelling of the movie, but if Percy and Migo could understand each other. Oh. That's the only thing they changed. They're basically, I guess they're just retelling the movie. And from what I learned from this, there's actually stakes to the movie. Apparently, Percy is gonna die of oxygen deprivation because he's up really high. Oh. So there's a ticking clock component, which I thought was pretty great because that had some stakes. Because as we'll see in the Facts and Follies, is one of their few films. What is this? Blue Sky, or I can't remember. Either Blue Sky or Sony. It's one of their first films where there's no technical villain. So the villain here is the altitude.
So the Yeti Pope isn't the villain? I'm surprised they didn't go that route.
I know, I'm surprised by that too, but I think because Michi, the female Yeti, is his daughter. Oh. So I'm assuming there's going to be some kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Reconciliation.
So does that
reconciliation.
Mean he's not. So it means he was sincere about believing in the rocks.
Yes, because that's the other thing I was going to bring up that this fan fiction taught me is that the Stonekeeper knew humans exist. He was trying to keep the Yetis away from humans because apparently they did something bad to him in the past, or he knows the evil of man. So he, in a way. So he isn't a villain because the rules were established to keep them safe.
Yeah. So if it says that humans don't exist to protect the Yetis, has it accomplished its purpose then? Because the purpose wasn't to say humans don't exist, they never have existed, don't worry about them.
Yeah.
It's more to say don't worry about the humans because they don't exist, and it's the real purpose is not to mislead them but to protect them. Does that mean a lie told to protect someone is a bad thing for this? Because they technically got rid of it.
Yeah, they dispel it. But then maybe it's just that...
The situation has changed.
Maybe it's just the conundrum. Is this lie okay to embrace if it keeps us safe? Or should we pursue truth at all costs, you know?
Kind of back to the Ozymandias, thing.
Yeah.
And should we establish an anarcho society?
Yeah. No anarchy.
No anarchy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, see, these fan fictions are useful. When I first started looking at fan fictions, I didn't think I would get much more than a laugh, but they're actually teaching me things. And if you want to kind of, if you've seen Smallfoot and you enjoyed it, and you kind of want to supplement it, you can read this one. It's on m.fanfiction.net, and it's called "What If?" in brackets Smallfoot by Julie Tu Hansen.
I think it's impressive, but also a massive waste of time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because
you're just retelling you're not adding anything creatively new, I guess. I mean, you're adding one little thing, but you're retelling an entire movie. Like you said, it wasn't done yet, so how long have they gone?
I think, let me see here. 5? It's chapter 5. Yeah,
we're
on chapter 5
exist?
Here. Yeah, 5 chapters. So
I've
been working on for 5 chapters, and most of it is just Percy farting around in the village doing stuff. And then on chapter 5, he realizes the altitude is going to kill him.
Oh,
so
is there a moment like, Percy, you have only 24 hours left to live?
I mean, basically, he starts. I think he passes out or something like that, and they realize he's sick because of the altitude. So I would say pros for a pretty good ticking clock, because in a screenplay, it's good to have a time component because you want there to be
tension.
Yeah, tension. We have to know there's a point where our heroes could fail, and it raises the stakes.
Right.
So I would say, hey, they got the ticking clock there.
Is it also a pro that Yeti Pope isn't evil? Because I really thought he was going to be evil.
Yeah, that would have been an easy choice to make. He's just, a nefarious individual. He was lying for his own benefit. So yeah, the Yeti Pope.
Good.
Good.
That's gonna be basically it for dynamic discussions. That went insane places that I didn't mean for that to happen. But I guess we can move on to Rando reviews.
The part that you're all waiting for.
Yeah.
Alright, so Rando reviews. Let's get into them. So we have 6. So number 6 and then word 6.
Okay.
Okay. Animated movies should stop all the singing.
The singing?
The singing.
He didn't do singing.
Oh, he did singing?
He did EN.
Wow, I wonder where this guy's from.
What's with all these animated movies and they're singing? Why can't they just talk normal like?
Wow, it's all freaking show tunes in a cartoon now.
This has been animated movies.
I know.
It's animated movies.
It's like tradition. It's the very first Disney movies.
What's with all these show tunes?
And way too much lovey-dovey, heartfelt warmth. I feel like he's going into kids' movies like, where's all violence? And throwing his popcorn.
Does he know how to read the
I know that peaked the volume.
Sorry.
Does he know how to read the
rating?
The ratings?
Yeah, I don't know.
He walks into a G movie and goes, well, where's all the violence?
But he makes a good point, though. It makes me sick. Just one time, Pixar or whoever should make a really good R-rated or a good rated R animation. That's really weird. Reasonably decent for almost everyone. Almost,
yeah.
But old Smallfoot wasn't bad, but it didn't captivate me. So, an R-rated animated movie would be interesting, but I don't know how well it would do.
Well, it was...
That's the thing, they don't do well in America
Didn't one come out where they...
Fritz the Cat?
No, it was the hot dog.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, that did do pretty good.
Until they found out that all those animators were basically indentured servants.
Yeah, until they abused their animators and made them work ungodly hours.
But I haven't heard anything about it ever since.
Yeah, no, it kind of came and went. Although it did pretty well at the box office.
I think it did.
Yeah. So he's got a point there, but I don't... it feels to me like he just wanted to talk about that, so he decided to bring it up since he had seen Smallfoot.
I guess he took his kids?
I would assume. I don't know why this guy, because, and we're not just making fun of people we're from the South, so we can, these are our people. We can do that mocking voice, that accent. But yeah, he strikes me as like kind of someone from East Texas who just ended up in the theater and was like, what's all this singing about? I'm sick of this. Because, I haven't thought about it. He's kind of made me rethink my perception of animated films, because here I am like, it's a kid's movie, it's animated, that goes hand in hand with singing. But as he's pointed out, it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, he also says he doesn't like the too much lovey-dovey heartful warmth, so he doesn't like the feels good about the animated movie, but,
Yeah, he doesn't. So, as I was saying at the beginning, the trailer kind of lets you know the movie's going to be heartwarming. Apparently, there's a group of people that does not appeal to. They want sadness and anguish and all kinds of...
They want a Pixar movie without the happy ending.
They just watch the first, 5 minutes of Up or whatever.
Yeah, or they just watch Inside Out on repeat, because that's the most soul-crushing movie I've ever watched in my life. It's for kids. That's a movie. That movie is about the slow death of childhood, in a nutshell.
Yeah,
it's about how you reach a point where you realize everything sucks, and your imaginary friends all die, and then you just have to you're gonna be sad all the time, so get used to it, kiddo. That's that movie. So maybe he just needs to go watch Inside Out again. Maybe he's watching I feel like there's already animated movies that he wants out there. He's just watching the wrong ones.
All right, then we have Magic Lion. And it says, I don't know what it is.
It's a magic lion.
Yeah,
Yadi is one of the sacred mystic in Asia. Many stories were written. Some believed Yadi is divine being like Monkey King. Some thought as heavenly guide. It helps a lot of spiritual seeker who tried to reach Himalayans for wisdom. In ancient period, monks were lived in Himalayas. This movie is cleverly written. Story, songs are good. Nice try.
Is this Midhun in disguise?
I don't know.
Is he both a human and a magic lion?
Listen, but he's a magic lion, no thumbs. He's trying his best to write on the keyboard.
Well, I was just... I guess he's giving us a little background on the Yeti.
Yeah, but he calls him Yadi. I don't know if that's correct.
Well, maybe that's the original term before it was kind of
Son Goku factor into all this. Sun Wukong.
Sun Wukong.
Yeah.
The Monkey King.
Yeah, well, their monkey archetypes are pretty they're all around the world.
And this kind of plays into the next one. We have Mehdi. This is what you must give to your child instead of the Quran, Torah, or the Bible. This animation is great, with enough great messages for all mankind. Throw crappy superstitions and religion into the trash can and live free, and always try to fight your problems with wisdom and integrity. 7.8 out of 10. So, is there a new religion that's sprouting up called Smallfootism or Yetiism?
Well,
and also, how will that relate to emojiism? So is there going to be a religious war between the emojiisms and the Yetiism?
Well, that's the thing.
Or
this
the Smallfootism?
Smallfoot, to me, is not so much religious as it is kind of a primer for humanistic, atheistic reasoning. You know what I mean? This is... Your kids aren't ready for, Richard Dawkins or Carl Sagan. Or Carl Sagan. So you give them Smallfoot to teach them, humanism. And all that kind of stuff.
So, I guess it still could be a religious war. Emojiism is striking down on Smallfootism or whatever.
Yeah, it would be Smallfoot atheists, maybe?
Could be. It's the emoji. There'll be grand public debates, the emojiists and the Smallfootists, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so this guy's seal of approval. So I would say if you are a religious person, watch out when you watch this movie, because all the arguments in the past, didn't faze you. Your faith is held strong. This may be the one thing that caused you to forsake God and burn your Bible, okay? You never know the power of media.
Or your Quran or Torah.
Yeah, or your Quran or Torah.
Your choice.
Yeah, so no religion is safe. It's not just Christians. If you're a Muslim, if you're a Buddhist, Smallfoot could rock you to your core. We don't know. We haven't seen it.
Just singing animals and stuff. No.
Because, Richard Dawkins has been trying to get people out of religion for years. Maybe all he needed was a special little film called Smallfoot.
All right. So we have learn tutorials. He says 7 to 10, 7-10, not 7 out of 10.
7 to 10.
So he doesn't quite know. This movie is 7 to a 10. He says, we humans are always in search of Bigfoot and other history things. But this story idea turned me away. In alternative history, we can say, amazing. So this movie, this person believed in Yetis before he watched the movie.
Is that what that said?
We humans are always in search of Bigfoot and other history things. So previously, it says Bigfoot was just part of history.
I don't think it's a history thing.
But this story idea turned me away.
Huh.
And then he says, that's an alternative history we can say. Amazing.
Yeah.
Or
well, that's ironic then, that a movie about Yetis, Bigfoot, Sasquatches, whatever you want to call them, because a Yeti's basically just a cold-oriented, Bigfoot.
And I actually want to bring that up. That I think it's interesting. We have Smallfoot, and then we have that missing link one, or they call him Link.
Yeah,
he's a Bigfoot.
What is that? A Leica studio thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how
we're
having a Sasquatch renaissance.
Yeah, Sasquatch renaissance.
A Sasquatch-essence. I'll come up with something. But yeah, it's weird to me that he watched a movie about Bigfoot, and that's what caused him to lose his faith. See, this movie destroys your faith.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a pro-con, depending on who you are. If you're religious, that's a huge con.
It just kind of destroys your faith,
And that's what I'm saying.
You believe the sun's going to rise the next day? Yeah. Well, it destroys your faith. You don't know.
Yeah.
Will it?
Do I still love my wife?
Destroys faith in your wife and your kids.
Yeah.
My wife's cheating on me. I just feel it now after watching this
I have no
movie.
faith in her anymore. But it's just weird to me that a film with Yetis became the vessel by which he lost his faith in Yetis. You'd think the opposite would be true. That just shows you how potent their anti-faith message is.
Ironic.
Yeah, Yetis made him lose his faith in Yetis.
Hey, isn't the whole point of the movie supposed to have faith in yourself?
Well,
What if you have faith in yourself and you watch the movie? Would it destroy the faith in yourself?
It may, because I guess technically it's faith, but it would be faith in a higher power, authority, figures.
A mystical creature.
Faith becomes irrelevant because within kind of humanistic thinking, every man is a god. So what point is there to faith if you are the most highest being? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this movie... So yeah, I'm saying pro-con. I mean, if you're atheistic or whatever, this is your tool, man. This is how you're going to bring people into the fold.
Just play this movie.
Yeah.
You won't get laughed at or anything.
No.
All right. Next, we go on to Nick Hal. They bring up some really interesting points, and we should really listen to this. Too many reviews means either watch it or don't. So they figured out how the review system works.
That's great. Nice.
So you can definitely watch it. Though the end is unrealistic. Can Smallfoot and Bigfoot live together?
This is an important question.
Can Bigfoot and Smallfoot live together?
So the Yetis wasn't a problem with them, but the way the movie ended.
It's too unrealistic.
So what is he saying, that it's unrealistic that Bigfoots and Smallfeet would live together so
in
easily
peace?
at the very least? Well, okay, so maybe he's got a point there. Maybe he's not. Maybe he finds peace and tranquility more unreasonable than Yetis being real.
This person understands humans at a base that we would probably kill them. I mean, ultimately, destroy them.
or like study them and put them in zoos. So yeah, I mean,
I like that
he's inadvertently brought up he or she. What was his? What was his name?
Nickel?
I don't know. I'm assuming it's male because it seems like a male name.
It's a Russian name.
Yeah. So he's kind of making a very eloquent point there, in the least eloquent way possible. That peace on Earth is less realistic than Yetis. So you know what, Nikhail, we'll put you in the MVPs for that beautiful point there. Which, I guess technically I should put myself in there because I came up with it.
Well, you're already in the box.
Yeah, but I'm in the box of shit, so I can't get out.
It's like a bucket of lobster if we're gonna drag you down to try and get out.
Isn't it crabs?
Crabs, lobsters.
Yeah, well,
crustaceans.
Yeah.
All right, then we have Matthew. All right, this is really important.
Okay.
My kids loved it, and like lime, the message it taught the children.
Oh my goodness.
The lime is back.
Oh my goodness. This is a thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's listening to our podcast.
This is 2 months ago, so before we gave a lime to Alita.
Yeah, somehow he knew. I don't know how he's so clairvoyant. Yeah.
Well, this movie got a lime.
Okay. The movie gets a lime.
Just slapping that lime.
I did not expect that to happen.
See, at first I thought I lost this review. I was like, I swear I picked out another review in another movie that had lime in it, and I rediscovered it was Matthew.
Yeah.
So Matthew can go in the MVPs for the lime.
I guess so. Now it's just making me wonder, like we have our own silly thing, but is lime some kind of code that we've just stumbled upon?
Could be. Maybe they're communicating to each other.
That's what I'm wondering, if it's like this secret cabal of critics that...
They're cross-platform, too, because
Yeah.
the other one was IMDb. This one's on I think it's the Google reviews.
Yeah, because it couldn't possibly be like a misspelling of a line or
Or
line
like, you know.
Or like.
And like lime, I don't know what they were saying. My kids loved it, and like a lime, the message it taught the children. I also enjoyed the movie. We watch it every day.
Whoa, okay.
I was getting creepy.
Every single day. All right, they watch it 365 times.
I guess that's another pro.
Rewatchability.
I'll do lime / rewatchability.
There's a bit of irony there. You want to free your kids, but then you just shackle them to a different kind of dogma.
Okay. So there's kind of the underlying irony, is that when people say free your mind, aren't you just following their way of thinking?
You're just jumping from dogma to dogma.
Yeah, there's no true way to free your mind. You're always going to be following someone or something.
That's why.
So,
really, is Smallfoot, is it less humanistic? Is it more kind of like the Buddhist religion, where like there is no God, but you want to enlighten yourself or free your mind to get to the next level of enlightenment?
I guess that's true, but
is it kind of is it the perfect fusion of Buddhism and humanism? And
I would say because it clearly has this kind of anti-authoritarian, atheistic, humanistic leaning where there is no deity or holy scriptures or whatever. You are your own God, so to speak. That's clearly in the text, but there's also that kind of that Buddha thought of what did you say exactly?
Basically transcending to the next level,
seeking enlightenment for its own sake. So it's kind of a hybrid of the two, but at the same time, this has just showed us this review that Smallfoot becomes the new God. And instead of worshiping a deity, you were worshiping the movie that freed you from your shackles to, spirituality or faith or whatever.
The person who brought you out of the cave, you're worshiping him now.
Yeah, so
it's a sad, sad story with you.
In a way, the movie probably didn't intend this, but the movie is teaching us that there's no true freedom.
Exactly.
There's only you choose your master. You don't get to not have a master. That's what we figured out here. Yeah. Oh, man, okay, this is
welcome to the rice fields. You're never leaving.
No, I know.
We have the Emoji Movie. Now we have Smallfoot. It's like,
or maybe
Smallfoot is like the anti, like we were saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm worried about a religious war. Think about it. They're almost so similar, but that makes them so opposed that they'll probably just start a religious war. I mean,
and I think the Emoji Movie is going to win.
Yeah.
Let's just face it.
I mean, emojis
it's a 50-50,
are like chaotic beings of pure whim and destruction. You don't know what's going to happen.
I just like imagining people in emoji outfits with AK-47s.
Yeah. It's going to be people dressed as Yetis versus people dressed as emojis, which is ironic because Smallfoot would not want you to follow it. And yet people will, inevitably.
It's only the nature.
Yeah.
And then we have Ains Off-Road.
Okay.
So he says, my word. The moment Senpai Smallfoot stepped into the screen, I instantly fell in love. Never been happier. John.
Put him in the box of shame now. Put him in.
Someone's got a thing for Percy.
Yep.
Throw him in there.
Wait, it was Percy that he likes?
The moment Senpai Smallfoot.
Oh. I didn't know if he misunderstood and was calling Migo Smallfoot, because sometimes...
Who is he liking then? Is he liking Migo or Percy?
I think he likes Percy.
What was the rest of it? Was it maybe there's like a contextual clue?
No, it's just my word. The moment Senpai Smallfoot stepped into the screen, I instantly fell in love. Never been happier. John.
Well, that's weird because you'd think the moment he stepped on the screen, Migo would normally be the one who comes. Because see, a lot of times that happens when people talk about movies is they give the main character the name of the movie.
Yeah.
That's why I'm thinking, because it'd be weird he would just be attracted to this normal person.
That's true. That would be weirder.
Yeah, that would be weirder. But who knows? Maybe he just has a thing
we
for
had a goat lover.
animated dudes.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Also, he's John, ultimately.
Yeah. John, is he likes off-roading? Or?
I guess so.
Okay. Well, John the off-roader loves Migo, I'm guessing, but possibly Percy.
Possibly Percy.
So
We'll leave
yeah,
that up to you.
So I guess I feel kind of better now that we have some company here in the box of shame because
Yeah, we have John.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weirdo. We can stay over in that corner of the box of shame. We'll stay over here.
But at the same time, this is a very open-minded podcast. We're not here to yuck any yums.
Yeah.
So, as we're going back to the fetishes, clearly it worked for John.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a nasty boy who needs to stay in the box with us, but we understand John. We're in the box.
We are in the box.
Yeah,
So
we can commiserate. You are a nasty boy, but that's okay.
everyone deep down is.
Yeah,
is
we're all
nasty
nasty boys.
All right, the last one is from IMDb. It's the only one I took out of IMDb. We have Oscarella Burt, 7 out of 10. For at least 80 years since Bosco's time, ... And he continues with the review. The always eponymous Warner Brothers has used its animated shorts and features to warn we Americans of, in parentheses, start the sometimes far, parentheses, end, future against our clear and present dangers, as well as providing us with guidance about triumphing over such impending calamities. Smallfoot is one of the best recent examples of Warner's yeoman work along these lines.
Okay.
Time and again, Warner cartoons have prognosticated that America must banish the pachyderm party fat cat 1%ers and the deplorable deluded automatons making up their base of core supporters to Antarctica for at least a 7-generation cooling off period.
Okay. Okay. Is there any more?
There's quite a bit more, but we can digest that bit.
Okay, so is this back to the anarchy? He wants to abolish kind of the upper class.
It's not quite anarchy per se.
Well, it's more. I guess it'd be more like communism.
Yeah, it's more like a communistic revolution.
Huh. Okay. Cool.
So, if I were to put into perspective what we know, we have Sony with Sony is backing the emojiism basically, and so
this is Warner Brothers. We figured
Warner
out
Brothers is backing Smallfootism. There's Disney down here who I don't know if they have any religion, but they're more of just a powerhouse.
Well, they're pure capitalism.
So
yeah,
they're pure capitalism,
unfettered.
So we got the two religions. They kind of duke it out, and there's Disney and kind of in the middle as well. So they're all kind of vying for control, I guess, back and forth. Trying to take over the masses.
Well, I mean, think about it. It's religion versus humanism versus corporatism.
Yeah.
It's the three main
Choose your
heads.
master.
Yeah.
And so, eventually this war is going to break out. It's probably, we talked about the dystopian a little bit. I can't remember what.
This ain't going to be a mundane dystopia, I tell you that much.
No, it isn't.
No.
There ain't going to be no Rumble Ball.
Well,
we might get Rumble Ball.
We might, because Disney's going to market that sucker if they do.
Or Motor Ball.
Yeah.
I don't know what we call it anymore.
But after that, we continue. What better way could Warner underline this oft-repeated directive? I like to use parentheses. Now that the doomsday clock says 6 seconds until eternal midnight, then with a Smallfoot feature depicting the tiny tribe of abominable Yeti elite, shown here shorn of all of their ill-gotten worldly wealth, undeserved fame, and U.S. citizenship, banished to a Himalayan mountaintop where they can savor their cult of lies, fake news, and misinformation in isolation from the real world?
Okay, so I thought he was like saying the movie itself. I mean, let's ignore the fact that he thinks like Warner Brother cartoons are some great cultural event. But second of all, he's not even talking about the plot of the movie. He just, basically his whole point is we should banish the politicians to a mountain.
Yeah.
That's basically what he's saying.
That is his point.
I thought that.
And he's saying this is a representation of that.
Okay, this guy.
So Yetis are the representation of the
Yeah.
1%ers
So-
and their supporters who are now trapped in a mountain.
Yeah, so this isn't even about like free. I thought it was gonna be like freeing your mind, and the Yetis figured out their leaders were bad, so they got rid of them. No, it's just he's inspired by the premise or like the setting of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we got this guy to worry about.
Yeah.
And then he finishes. Warner wraps up Smallfoot with a patently preposterous, peaceful get-together to show how ludicrous coexistence between fat cat yetis and we normal little people would actually look.
Okay, well, I think he's reading a bit much in there.
Are you sure about that? I think he makes perfect sense.
Did
Get rid of all those fat cats in the mountains.
So we got a new term for politicians now. It's
What,
not-
fat cat yetis?
Yeah, just Yetis.
Yeah.
It's a term we can call
Those
them.
filthy
Those
Yetis.
up in Washington.
So what does that mean for a yeti pope?
Yeti Pope?
Is the
I don't-
Pope a yeti, I guess?
Well,
Yes, he
technically,
is.
because he's an
He
authority
is.
figure.
He's an authority
So
figure.
he's
Any
the-
authority
The
figure
Yeti
is
in the
bad.
Vatican. Yeah.
You need to free your mind and buy our merchandise.
So did he give it a review? Like a
Yeah, he gave it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Okay.
He
So-
liked it for its imagery.
Yeah, he liked it because the Yetis lived on a mountain. He liked it because of the idea it gave him, but he ultimately didn't like the plot because it ends with Smallfoot and Bigfoot coming together.
Well, it's
So-
kind of like, haha, look at that myth that could never happen.
Okay,
it's
so
kind
he-
of like what
He thought it was
what's her
satire.
face was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of what Nicole was saying. Can Smallfoot and Bigfoot live together?
Yeah.
So he was more laughing at the fact that it would never happen,
Okay, so this film, depending on your perspective, is a brilliant satire.
or it's a satire, or it reveals what you should do to politicians and 1%ers.
Yeah.
You should take
Send
them,
them to a mountain.
throw them to a
Yeah.
mountain with all their lies, fake news, and misinformation, and
Yeah.
isolation from the real world.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not necessarily against that per se. But man, I didn't realize how political this movie was going to get.
I
It's
know.
amazing because
It kind of flew under the radar on that
yeah.
one.
But maybe maybe the powers that be kind of buried it for that reason. Because this is incendiary stuff, because it's not going to destroy your faith in religion or God. It's going to destroy your faith in the government, because that's another strong aspect.
It's going to do
of it.
all of that.
Yeah, so this is a dangerous tool. In the wrong hands, who knows?
So you think government is backing emojiism?
Well, maybe we missed the point.
A
Maybe,
little bit?
No, maybe it doesn't represent religion. Maybe it just represents government.
Or like the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah,
or,
and then
or
you just
the Constitution, I mean.
yeah, just old laws,
Yeah.
from old government.
Well, I think it's both.
Or does it represent the media, the current media,
Uh,
that grandizes the 1%ers, or sometimes goes against it, or at
All
least
the-
media that does
Yeah.
do that?
all the above. All the above.
So it encapsulates all of
Yeah.
that.
So basically, the tablets are whatever you hate.
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
But, I mean, I think it's the strongest connection is religion,
you
but
can
yeah.
project onto the tablet. Yeah, that's pretty deep.
Yeah, these kids' movies, they look so goofy, and they have, I fall down, go boom jokes, but at the same time, they got these, these deep thoughts on faith and atheism and politics. It's just, I did not see this coming. I mean, I was kind of prepared by the articles, but even then, I guess we should move on then to Facts and Follies. I guess I can run through these real quick. There wasn't really much here to discuss. Oh yeah, but I found out. Let's start with our facts here. The names of the two lead Yetis in the film, Migo and Michi, are actually two different Tibetan words for Yeti. Yeti being more the Nepalese term, so their names are Yeti and Yeti.
Yeti and Yeti.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't blame them because
Yeah.
Disney did a Simba.
They would just be lying. Yeah. Like, what do we call these things? I don't know. It's boy Yeti, girl Yeti. Let's make it simple. Let's see.
Yeti A, Yeti B.
Oh yeah, apparently I didn't see this in this trailer, but the screaming goat is based on several popular YouTube videos of goats that made uncharacteristic screaming sounds instead of their usual bleatings. In The Grinch, for a massive callback, there was a screaming goat in The Grinch.
There was goat in Ferdinand. There's
Yeah.
a goat in this. The devil goat has been going around.
Yeah,
Wow.
but I was more thinking about just how did that meme, the screaming goat, finally make it to Hollywood, and all these
Oh yeah, I'd definitely say so.
all these kind of middle-aged people making these movies are like, the kids love these screaming goats. Put them in everything, even though they're like,
What was that popular? When we were watching videos of that? 2010?
yeah,
maybe?
it's like it's almost a decade old at this point, but that's how slow the wheels of Hollywood move when it comes to like memes. Yeah, kind of light on trivia here. There wasn't really any follies. I'm going to call it short here because there wasn't follies and there's barely any facts, and we're running along. So let's jump into popping parental guides.
So a character gets caught in a bear trap. A small amount of blood is seen. So a little bit of Peter Rabbit over there.
Yeah. Peter.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, the signs are everywhere. But as I've said before, because I was editing Ferdinand and I heard my message again, my warning: we gotta quit talking about Peter Rabbit.
It's just in terms of profanity, we have one character says crap. And then it says, there will be, oh my gosh, and darn. So is that, well, they have like the little stands, instead of there will be blood, it just says there will be, oh my gosh, and darn.
Well, There Will Be Blood is a film.
Yeah, but I was thinking of like the tagline for Saw, like, oh yes, there will be blood.
There will be blood, yeah.
So it has that on it.
Oh yes, there will be, oh my gosh.
And darn.
Oh, that's like the nicer version of that movie. There will be darn, and it doesn't end as badly.
And then a group of Yetis are chased by the police to a village near the end of the movie. The Yetis cause a lot of property damage while being chased. That's it.
Okay.
So
Vandals.
Con property damage.
Okay, con property damage.
And that's it for popping parental guides. I also, after we finished random reviews, I forgot. Remember, reviews change lives.
Yes, remember.
It's a little bit late, but we're still incorporating that.
Yeah. Okay. Guess we gotta give our review here. Gotta go through our pros and cons. So let's start off with our cons, as usual. Cons. It might turn your kids into anarchists. Oh, that's really the least of your problems here.
At this point, I'm not sure the anarchy angle is correct, but there may be a little bit of it.
It's a confusing film. It's taken us on a wild ride, that's for sure. And I added this in. It's kind of part of the pro-con. Not good for religious people. This movie will destroy your faith. And not even just religiously. It will just destroy your faith in general, as we see in politics, in your loved ones, whatever. And then, property damage is another con.
It's never good.
Sad to see.
Kids, don't do it.
Let's go to pros. They give you the song name in the trailer, which was cool.
Yeah, we like that.
There's a Yeti Pope. We're collecting popes, and we got another one.
Yep, Sith Pope, Yeti Pope.
Although I guess if you're that one guy, Yeti Pope is just part of the problem.
Yeah.
It was possibly written by Rorschach. So I'm not so sure anymore, but still.
I like that idea.
It's a groundbreaking film for gay rights. Because it's,
I think.
Maybe.
Could be.
Could be a gay love story between a man and a Yeti. There's a very good ticking clock element in the movie. They got to get him off the mountain before he suffocates. Because he's a human, he's not supposed to live that high.
And they can't just throw him down like they did Migo, or else he'd just die.
He would literally just die. The Yeti Pope, we find out, is not a bad guy, which you would think in this kind of film. He's actually good. So that's kind of refreshing, a different take on that, defying a trope. And the film got a lime.
Oh,
we think.
It got a lime.
Yeah, it deserves a lime. And I would say it definitely deserves it just for what it's given us to think about. And apparently in that same review, very rewatchable.
Yes.
You may end up watching this every night because it's kind of become your new god, so to speak. And it is possibly a brilliant satire.
Yeah.
According to that one guy, he was having a laugh at the end of it because of how profound and how idiotic that, the Bigfoot and the little foot, the big people and the little people could live together.
I love this inane conspiracy ramblings.
Yes. And then in the pro-cons, finally, foot fetish, gigantism fetish, furry fetish. Depending on who you are.
It's got something for you.
Yeah, if you're watching this alone, might be the best movie ever. But you're watching it with your kids, might be a bit of a struggle for you over there.
Well, I mean, if you're a couple who likes that kind of thing, it could be the perfect.
It'd be really good. The perfect romantic movie. Yeah. And then I kind of brought this up earlier, but destroys faith. So that's kind of the takeaway from this movie. Be careful when you show it to your kids. Just know what you're getting into. Okay, so from that,
we gotta give
it a review.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of interesting. It's an interesting movie because of what it accomplishes in the end.
Yeah.
It destroys faith. That's really powerful.
Yeah.
It's got a lot. You can delve deep into it and drag out so many different threads and ideas from it. I mean, we have. Yeah. So I think I have to give it I'm going to give it a solid 80. I think.
Solid 80.
Because it's a gold mine almost.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried because I almost want to give it 2 scores because as a piece to consider and learn from, whatever, I would rate it pretty highly. But you know, at
What's
the
the
end
average of your 2 scores?
I guess I could do that. But at the end of the day, this is a film you're meant to enjoy, you know, and possibly with your kids. And that's a lot to take in. This movie could possibly destroy your entire worldview. I guess that's a threat from other movies we've done. That's why I can't figure out if my review, if my way of thinking is right. I just feel like this movie is asking a lot from its audience and possibly confronting them with a lot. So does that ultimately affect the movie's like enjoyability? But apparently not, because it's also rewatchability. But I don't know if that's because the movie is good or because it has drained them of any other kind of like thing to believe in. Yeah, or latch onto. And I'm real conflicted on this movie.
I mean, it's just a really powerful movie, just hands down.
Yeah.
You know, it's really big and, you know, has a lot of feet in it. And
yeah, it's real furry. Because I'm saying as just a piece of entertainment, I would give it kind of maybe like a 50, maybe just a halfway point, because it seems to have some good stuff going for it. But as like a think piece, like you said, an 80 would be a great score for it. Yeah. So I don't know, somewhere in between there.
Just do like that one guy did, 50
Well, you
through
could give
80.
it a 65. That'd be the average of
65?
those 2 scores.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm going to do. Because, I don't know, I guess with the Emoji Movie, like, that's also a really hitty movie. But I feel like that movie's just so good. Obviously, you're going to enjoy it. But this one, I don't know. I guess it depends on who you are. I don't know what it could do to you. And I guess that's why it's a frightening film. And I guess that's kind of my trepidation here.
You know what? I'm giving it a 30 because there's too much singing in it, too much feel-good stuff. I don't like that.
You know, that's a good point. I didn't think of that.
rating because of all that garbage that's in it.
Well, do you want to lower your rating a bit, Billy?
No, I'm going to keep it there.
All right. So,
If there was less of that stupid singing, I would have gone higher, but man.
We got Billy at a 65, I'm at an 80, and Luke's at a 30, so let's see what our average is.
And this movie, to me, it's kind of like the deep end of the pool, but not like a normal deep end, like one of those pools that goes down like stories.
Yeah.
Which it's kind of exciting, kind of frightening, and maybe you could have a good time, but at the same time, you got to consider jumping that deep and dealing with that kind of dangerous situation. So that's kind of my thinking.
Well, we have an average of 58.3 repeating.
Great, they're repeating the decibels back. Okay, and on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave it a 76%, and the audience gave it a 63%.
So apparently it didn't really affect its enjoyability. Also, audiences won this time.
Audiences won.
A lot of times they don't win.
Yeah.
So it's a breath of fresh air.
What did it get again?
It got a 76% from the critics and a 63% from the audience. Which is weird because... I take that back. This kind of makes more sense that the critics would kind of get more out of it. Yeah. Because it is more lofty and it's a challenging and frightening movie. And some critics like to, think about something and mull it over, and they want movies that give them more than just a basic movie-going experience usually. So I can kind of see the reasoning here. But okay, so that has been our very detailed look into Smallfoot, the faith-destroying movie and possible anarchist humanistic guidebook for young people.
Yeah, it could be all those things. It could actually be none of those things. Yeah, it really just depends on the person. Yes. This movie is an amorphous blob, but either way, it's really going to impact you and affect you. That's the main takeaway. So we from this, we may be seeing a battle between emojiism and Smallfoot atheists and Disney corporateers, the Goof Troop. Yeah. So, I mean, keep your eyes towards the horizon and, invest in gold and rations and bullets. Bullets, ammo, canned food, bunker. Alrighty. Well, let's wrap this up. Let's go through our MVPs and our box of shame. In our MVPs, we have Nikhail, Matthew, and the audience. Yep. And our episode Degenerate has been... unfortunately, us, Billy, Jake, and Luke, and John, who got very excited by either Percy or Migo. We aren't certain, which, we can't tell what's worse at this point. No. But, yeah, I think after that, this movie got a lime, right? This movie got a lime. Yeah, this movie got a lime, and that's what I factored in my review as well. And it possibly slapped.
But there was too much singing.
58.3 repeating. I think we can say it slapped.
Yeah,
It was a timid slap.
I would say maybe. To me, slap is more kind of a lowbrow term, like what you would give for like, oh, I had an exciting time watching.
It's kind of like what the Google reviews. It's like a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Yeah, and to me, a lime is like an award at a show or something like an Oscar.
Usually a lime is something special for it.
That's why I think this movie may not necessarily slap, but it deserves a lime because it would be something that would rake in awards and stuff, but may not be.
Just going off our average, I think we have to give it a thumbs up. So
we'll
we
give it
have
a
to
slap.
say it's slap.
We'll say it's slap, but I think you know what I'm saying. All right, so that's been it for Much Review About Nothing.
Yep.
If you want to email us, you can do so at muchreviewan@gmail.com, and on Twitter we are at muchreviewan. And me, Billy, you can follow me at BD_gruesome, or you may not want to because I'm in the box of shame currently. And, please remember to rate, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and tell your friends about us if you want to, although after this episode, you may not want to.
Or have friends.
Yeah. Yeah. You may not have friends. You may not have friends if you listen to this podcast. Wait, what are we saying? That's an awful thing to say. No, I would say you have very discerning taste if you listen to this podcast, and we thank you for that.
Is that what you call it?
Yes. But I guess we'll call it there then. Thank you for listening. I've been your host, Billy Greer.
I've been Jake Greer.
And I've been Luke Greer.
Bye.
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 Bye.